last year. There's a shooting club that shoots a lot of them and can't consume them all, so friends of mine pick them up and carve out the breasts and make hot dogs and stuff, and then they give me the carcasses. So I am going to start putting carcasses in these cubbies, because what happened in previous years is I would pick up a lot of foxes. Even though I'm after the bobcats, if the bobcat comes by, he's more likely to go in there after a pheasant too. But this way I keep catching, because just the bait down the hole doesn't seem to be bringing them in this year so far. So also another thing is that the carcasses get stolen out of the cubby and sometimes they don't get caught. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire them into the cubby. And in this particular cubby, I have a trap on the back and a trap in the front. That way, if they try to steal the pheasant out of the back, I can catch them there too. Well, upon closer inspection, I got a bunch of quail. But what I'm gonna do, yeah, Willie, you stay over there, buddy. Willie's just out of the frame, but I have him hooked up to the ATV because sometimes I just don't want him to walk into the trap. So we're just gonna take enough trapping wire to get around the tree. And I'm gonna just really tighten this sucker up around the legs. If they pull a leg off of a frozen bird, they can have it. Hey, take it easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stuff this in there and the wire out the back. I don't even have to go around the tree because I have a cable around the tree for my trap in the back. The trap bed is very apparent here in waxed dirt, just inside the front of the cubby, and then off the back I have another one bedded down in the straw there. I just wired that quail right to my cable there that's around the tree. So let's see if this starts bringing them in. Definitely can see that in there. Awesome. Now my hay set's been quiet for a while, and it got a lot of action when I was out in Wyoming. Probably would have caught some things. And I was just wondering, maybe they're working around it and not going into it, but I have a camera on here and actually there's just been nothing visiting. Except for this runner who's coming through like every few days. Lucky he didn't step in the trap. Honestly, if he did, it would just pop off and not catch him, but it would probably be a pretty big surprise. I wish that people would stop trespassing on private property with their fat tire bikes and running and stuff like that. This is a private farm, and I put signs up, no trespassing, but people just keep finding ways in. Any case, I am going to use my scissors and kind of dress this up a little bit. I don't like to mess with things after I set them, but this one's been sitting for a couple weeks, no visitors. I'm just going to do a little bit of fixing up. Yeah, so this is my other cubby. I have 3 on this farm, but this one got kind of destroyed by the fox and I never set it back up. But what I'm going to do, because we can't have bait uncovered, right? We don't want to be catching birds. So I'm just going to take the grasses and kind of build them up here, and I'm going to cable the quail right down in there and maybe make a little bit of a cubby, because we have to be covered from above, but we can have it so that they can, see in there. As we've seen on this one, I'm using the spinning flag. I learned this from one of Jeff Dunlap's videos. And The only reason I don't like to use these is they really attract humans, but so far so good here. Just a hanger, right? And then my stuff hanging on there, and it can spin all the way around, doesn't get stuck in any trees or anything. It's on a piece of electrical conduit. There's a wire right here which stops this rebar so that the whole pole can just spin around. So yeah, constantly working. That's cool. But yeah, let's build this cubby up again and let's get some quail in there. Lots of eye appeal for bobcats. These cats have a lot of territory all around this to hunt, and I think they just haven't come by here. And that's why I have the flag out, because we're trying to bring them in visually. This is my first time in this spot, so maybe I don't have the best wind going on. It's definitely going over that way. Anyways, I think I'm bettering my chances by getting the quail in here and getting the cubby back up. So there's the finished set. We can see the quail deep inside the new cubby. Well, Willie and I are at our first stop. He's waiting for me there. And I noticed something's messed up at this bobcat walk-through over here on the other side of the bridge. And I was just saying yesterday that I haven't caught one skunk this year, but now I have. So yeah, he got in there and messed it up, but at least he's gonna smell it up now. Take care of this guy. Well, there's a couple bonuses to catching that skunk here. One is that it's the first thing I ever caught with the bag around the trap. So the trap worked with the bag around it. I know that there's not a lot of snow on the ground or anything. Here's what I'm doing now. I'm taking the sandpaper sticker, putting it right on that trap bed. Sorry, right on that pan. That's right where the bobcat's gonna step. And then I'm gonna dress this up. I only have one hand here, so I'm gonna turn off the camera. I'll kind of blind this in a little bit, block this in again, and we'll have the walkthrough working with a lot of skunk scent. Okay. Isn't it funny how this flag was totally drenched and frozen, and now it's all fluffed up again. All right, so I just scattered some grass clippings just to break the outline, cover the plastic a little bit, but there's a nice dry sandpaper spot to step on. Got my stepping sticks and made it about 12 inches wide. Amazing skunk smell, which I'm getting a headache from already, is gonna bring the cats in now. Well, it has been a slow week on the trap line. I got that skunk this morning, but I can't seem to find those bobcats again. They're like ghosts. I got 8 cameras out now, and I haven't seen the bobcats. So I don't know if they found someplace else to feed or they're doing really good on rabbits and mice and stuff. But I'm hoping the smell from that skunk will bring them into that one walkthrough near the bridge there. And I thought after I left that spot, I should have put some more traps around that area for canines, which if I have time later today, I might actually run back there and put some flat sets in, because I know that all the animals are going to be curious why that stinks so much. By the way, I do have a skunk sleeper system. That's the acetone in a syringe on the end of a pole. I've used it twice. Once it worked, the other time the skunk still sprayed. That's where you inject them right underneath the arm into the lungs and they go to sleep. Frankly, I don't carry that with me all the time, and I wasn't going to go back for it, so I dispatched with the 22, and that's why he sprayed. But I kind of wanted him to stink up the spot anyways, so we're all good. Just got to deal with a little bit of that lingering smell all day today. The trapping Honda Fit is perfumed. Well, I'm still after the bobcats on this farm. This is a new spot for me. But right here on this corner, I have a set back in there and I have a set all the way over there. But I feel like they see all this thick stuff here, and Willie's just about to go into the set. So I'm not doing a visual on this one. It's just on the corner here, and there's a trap bedded in there with a little sandpaper on the pan. I got soul taker down in the hole with some sheep's wool. And it's just on this corner. I'm just gonna trust they're gonna round the edge here and stop right in and step on that. Windy as heck out here. I'm able to drive the Honda Fit out on the farm for now. Ground's all frozen, but that's the corner I'm on with the set I just showed you, right there. And I'm not doing any visual there because I'm kind of wondering if I might get a canine. So I'm not making it too flashy, but the trap is in a plastic bag and it does have sandpaper on it. So I suppose that would scare any canines away. I'm willing to give it a try. Hey, it's January 8th and I got some of my fur put up. I got a pile more coons to do today, and I have more fox inside the freezer. But I decided to go meet the truck anyways to do a bunch of friends a favor. So I think it's the first time that Groenwald is actually doing the glove trade for deer hides in New York. They usually do it out west, and they announced they would be doing it in New York. So I told all my friends to save their deer hides and I would go trade them in for them. So that's what we're doing right now. Yeah, one of my friends who is bringing a deer hide, I'm gonna go pick him up because he wants to go to the truck with me anyway, so we're making a trip of it. And I'm actually really interested to see what trappers show up with what. Last year I wasn't able to go to the truck in January, I only went in the spring. So I'll be interested to see what people are bringing. I expect probably raccoons and maybe some predators. Probably not so much beaver, because I think even Groenwald told us we should start trapping beaver like now and not really get them early, because the beaver are going to the hatter market and that underwool is really important to have, and beavers need some time to get that grown. Yeah, so we'll see if we see any new trappers. I think I'll have about a dozen deer hides to trade in for about a dozen pair of gloves.
Seen those guys at the meeting? We go to the meeting?
Yep, not the last one, but usually they do.
54
Oh.
School Hill.
It's got coon and fisher, fox.
No.
I'm back from meeting the Groenwald fur truck. I just love talking to trappers, and I find it a little awkward to turn the camera on them. So I'm sorry I didn't get some of those conversations, but there were only 3 other trappers there other than me. But we had a good talk, and one thing I feel kind of good about is everybody's having a bad week. So I haven't caught anything this week, and they all said the same. Mainly just the wind, they were saying, they think is slowing things down. But in any case, I had a dozen deer hides from my buddies to trade in. One of my friends went with me, and he had 2 deer, so he gave me 1 pair of gloves. So that was pretty cool. I got some bonus gloves I didn't expect. Yeah, so these are the gloves that Groenwald's will give you. They're genuine deer skin, and that would be the palm. So the black part here is the deer, and then the back, I believe, is synthetic, but they're insulated. What do they call it? These are hand armor, premium deer skin, 100 GR heat lock, handarmorgloves.com. Anyways, I feel like they run a little bit small, so these are the extra large, and the extra large fit me pretty perfectly. So I'm now gonna use these on my ATV to keep my hands warm. I'm not gonna use them for trapping, probably deer hunting and just driving, but pretty cool. Got a bunch for my friends here. That was a neat experience. I got a little project going on in the fur shed too, actually. I'm moving furniture. So this is usually what I use to heat the fur shed. That's a kerosene heater. And the kerosene heater works good. I mean, I can turn it on and it warms it up in here perfect. This is not an insulated building, and I'm kind of fine with it that way. But I'm feeling not so good after a while when I'm in here, and I think the fumes from the kerosene are bothering me. So I'm making a change. I've had this wood stove for a while because I do hot tent, and this is like a wood stove that's built for going in like a wall tent. It's a little too big and heavy to backpack with, but I wouldn't even want to pack this into a hunting camp. It's pretty heavy. But in any case, I figured, wow, this will be perfect for heating the fur shed. So I got all the pipes there to put a chimney right out through the wall here, and that's going to be my project here in the next few days. Got a barrier to keep it safe. I'm probably going to put some more stone around it, but that'll be really nice. I can just start up the wood stove in here. Again, this is not perfect temperature control for furs. I do put some in the house if I need to, but it's my place to work. Well, this is the first snow that we've had in 3 weeks, I want to say. I was at the Groenwald truck and I was talking to the other trappers, and I was kind of happy. It's sad that I was happy about this, but everybody has had a slow couple of weeks. They were saying mostly because of the wind, also because we've been blinded to any sign because we haven't had snow and the ground's so frozen you can't see tracks. So it only snowed within the last hour, and I'm seeing very little sign this morning, but tomorrow I should be able to read a lot more sign. And yeah, I want to show you something right here. Yeah, you see this right here? That's a trap that popped off. And I don't know if it was a deer or it was a predator. I know raccoons will do that, but they're sleeping now, so it could have been a miss on a predator, but what I did was I set another trap next to it. So right off to the side there, I left that one just the way it is. And I've never had a camera on this spot, so we're gonna go ahead and use a little tree over here, big trees. I've never actually recorded any critter digging up one of my traps, so this seems to be a popular spot. I've actually had the trap dug up twice here. That's why I just left it now and set a trap next to it. So hopefully we can see who's doing this and if I'm somehow educating some predators. on one of the walking lines here, and it has been a slow couple weeks. Just got a skunk yesterday, and that spot where the skunk sprayed has not attracted anything yet. I'm kind of looking forward to tomorrow to see more tracks. Nothing fresh yet on this trail. But this little bit of snow is nice because we get to see sign, but also our trap sets aren't getting completely buried. Well, this is the day after the snow fell, and there are a ton of tracks out. A coyote crossed the pond this morning when I got up, went in the bathroom. My wife looked out the back window, and the coyote ran across the pond behind her house. Incredible. They're moving. And just checking my bridge set here where we have a walkthrough for the bobcats. No tracks on the bridge yet, but I've seen some disturbance and I hear something. Check it out, man. We got a fox in the bobcat walkthrough. I catch a lot of fox on bobcat sets. Back foot catch kind of messed up the walkthrough quite a bit. Well, you can see pretty fresh he came through here. And these guys still have prime fur. Not a lot of rub right now. It's January 9th, I think. So they're gonna start having rub and the fur will start going downhill after this, but I'm still happy to get them. So this was the trap with the plastic bag around it to keep it from freezing to the ground. And so far we can see it works. I caught a skunk and now a fox here in this set. I'm still not really sure if it's the best idea to use that. I could use buckwheat hulls underneath the trap. But frankly, I just wanted to try the bags and see if that keeps me from having to stock something else with me. And so far it's working. If it worked on the fox, it should work on a bobcat. I think my biggest worry is if that plastic gets a lot of snow on it, then we could have maybe too much snow coming up with the trap jaws. But I am coming around and sort of cleaning things off. I've also been warned not to use a brush to brush off too much because you can cause crystallization of the snow and make even a harder surface. But a way to get around that is to use a blower, like a battery powered blower, and just sort of blow the set off. It doesn't cause the friction that the brush does. But again, I just don't want to carry more stuff around with me, so I've been brushing them off just hopefully really good, not leaving anything to crystallize. Well, that's interesting. The camera did not trigger, so it looks like it was a fox. Let's see. Nope, that was a coyote. And that coyote got by the hayset without triggering the camera. Interesting. Checked my batteries and they're still good, so. And I got myself coming by, but not that coyote last night. Yeah, we can see that's a coyote track. Well, if you're wondering where Willie is, I left him home because it's Sunday, so he's home with Mom. And he cries a little bit when he hears the ATV leave the house. At least he's looking out the window watching, so I think he likes to come. Really missed the fox catch today. So us trappers are always dealing with weather. Yeah, let me get up this hill and then I'll shut the ATV off for a minute. We're coming by this cubby over here. Yeah, this cubby here has had no action except for a raccoon. So it's one of those wait spots. I've never put a cubby here on this tree island before. I had it over here on the other side and I caught several animals, but it wasn't something I wanted to try this year. But I wanted to try this tree island instead this year. Maybe that was a bad decision. Anyways, the flagging's obviously working really good. And I put a quail in there this week. And yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on. Not coming by here. Right now I'm on a big apple farm of a friend of mine. Not a lot of apple trees. It's actually transitioning. He does a lot of other crops. But I've never trapped here before, and it's always fun to get onto a new property. But unfortunately, him and his daughter have, I think they have 6 dogs between them, and they let them run free on the farm. So yesterday, I had the dogs following me, barking at me. I texted him and said it's really hard to trap with the dogs roaming out here. So he said, well, we'll try to keep them to the roads, and you can try to be off the roads. So I had one trap right on the road behind me. I tripped that off because I don't want to catch their dogs. And I just have 3 sets here back in the woods off the property. So hopefully the cats will be moving in there. That's really what I'm targeting, not canine. But I am along this beautiful waterway, and I'm not that experienced of a water trapper, but I set some 330s in here, and I hope to learn more about this and maybe take advantage of being on the water. There were a couple of beaver in here early on in the season, but another trapper came in and took them out, and I haven't seen any fresh beaver signs. So, but if one comes through, I have the 330 set in the narrow parts. Yeah, beautiful creek here, and it narrows down, so right here I have a 330. You can just barely see it probably. Nothing sprung off there. And there's lots of deer activity here on these trails. I do have a camera in here, but I'm sure there's mink and muskrat. And we're always dealing with the weather, and for about 3 weeks we have been blinded to sign because the ground's been frozen. Mouse tracks. Now we have a little bit of snow, so we're able to see things, but it's going to be gone today. So this is kind of frozen in, but I have a 330 on the swim through, thinking an otter might dive right down through there. So there's a 330 right there, and that one is still set. Not sure if it's in the, it is actually down under the water there. So that would be a typical place for an otter to swim through, I would think. And here's some of the old beaver sign, these sticks that are chewed off on the ends, but it's not fresh. The farmer came in and actually pulled this dam apart. And we'll walk a little further here. See my tracks from yesterday, but yeah, 40 degrees today, and we're gonna lose all the snow and any chance of watching for fresh sign. But I do have some camera history, and my buddy has a deer blind right on the other side of this little bridge here, right behind my truck there. And he has the picture of the bobcat walking right basically in front of me here, down through here. So I had originally put this set right here, and I popped it off because, and something's been digging in it actually, look at that. Sheep's wool is out. And the reason I popped it off is because the farmer's dogs come right through here. And I just don't want to catch them, so I'll get that trap out of there another day, but it's not gonna catch anything right now. Well, this isn't trapping, but this is my fur shed, and I just finished installing a chimney and a wood stove inside. Yep, this is Trapper Dan's fur shed. Trapper Snore, sustainable, natural, organic, renewable resource. And it's not quite perfectly cleaned up right now, but we got a pile of coons still to do. And I put this wood stove in. I originally got this for like a wall tent, but it's been sitting around. I'm like, you know what? This is gonna be perfect to keep the fur shed warm. Little venting here. The stovepipe didn't match exact, so that's because it's not designed for a building, but I think I made it very safe. I got the thimble in, and yeah, it is toasty in here, and it does not smell like kerosene anymore, so I'm ready to work out here and be a lot more comfortable. Well, Willie and I are getting ready in the fur shed this morning. I can't tell you how awesome it is to have a wood stove. Yes, this is not the best for fur handling. It would be better if I had some sort of climate control, but it's the best I can do, and I'm real happy with it. I got a bunch of coons that I had rolled up in the freezer stretching out on a rack here, so we can scrape and stretch those today on some wire and some wood. One on the stool here that was kind of rolled up. And this is the fox I caught yesterday. I was able to put him on the board and flip him already this morning, which is super awesome nice because I had him right near the wood stove, so he dried to that papery texture just overnight, which has not been happening for me all year without having a warm shed. So we got this going good now this morning, and we can go out on the trap line and come back and be ready to bang out these coons. Right, Willie? He's so patient. Yeah, you're so patient, buddy. You ready to get on the ATV and go for our tour? He likes when we catch stuff. He gets kind of bored when we don't. Yeah, I know. Me too, buddy. Me too. Willie's sensing something. So look here, we got coyote tracks. Ooh, that's a bobcat track. Nice. And I got coyote tracks coming down the 2-track. Guys, this is where the bobcat walked through. Caught all those bobcats on camera. And then I got that trap sitting there for weeks with nothing, except this morning we got a nice one. Oh my goodness. I am so excited. Well, Chappie told me, and we wait. And I was getting a little impatient, but oh my goodness, I can't believe this worked. So awesome. And actually, this walkthrough is popped off too. So I don't know if he hit that first and then went through there. I don't have the camera here anymore. Well, it looks like a tom to me. He's a big body cat. Well guys, I was waiting to see. I was taking the risk with the plastic bag deal. And still I haven't had the plastic bag with a lot of snow on it, but it totally works for keeping that trap from freezing to the ground. You can see there's my sandpaper, and we got the foot all the way in there. Pretty cool. I'll still be testing it with snow, but I like it. Okay, we got this one reset. The flagging was tangled up in the tree, but got the walkthrough set again. The trap is covered with grass clippings with the sandpaper showing right where the pan is. And this smells a lot like cat, so I'm not gonna put anything else here. Let's see if partners start coming through. Well, I got the Bobcat here in the fur shed, and I have to fill out my possession tag. So let's get that all done. That because Bobcat, Otter, and Fisher are all in the CITES, which is the Convention in the Trade of Endangered Species. They have to be sealed. So we'll do that right at the end of the season. I think you have till 10 days after the season ends. Last year we had the environmental conservation officer here in the fur shed, and this year we might do that too. But anyways, got to fill this out, and I'm gonna weigh this cat and see how much he weighs. Let's get my weight first with some of my stuff on. 190.5, 190.3. And now with the Bobcat, what's that say? 220.2. Okay, that's 29.7, or around 30 pounds. Well, as expected, it's going up to 40 degrees today. Just when I put my wood stove in the fur shed. Gonna have to have the door open so I don't get too hot. Listen, I always forget to do this, and honestly, I don't want to be a pain. But if you could like and subscribe if you get anything out of my videos, that would be pretty cool. You probably understand, if anybody has followed me this far, I don't do the normal YouTube algorithm chasing. However, I have 181 subscribers today, and if I get to 1,000, I get into that area where I could get a little kickback. So if you could like and subscribe, that would help me. It's an awful lot of work making the videos, and I don't do it for this. Just saying that again. I do it because I like to share the tradition of trapping. I like to show hobby trappers that you can do this and it's healthy. I'm out in the woods, man. I eat a ton right now during trapping season because I'm burning so many calories, and that's fun. It's good to know that you can eat a lot and use a lot of energy. But mainly I make these videos because someday I'm not going to be able to do this, and I want to sit back and watch seasons after seasons of episodes of what I was doing out here in the wild and keep that energy going and get a taste of trapping when I physically can't trap. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for following along. Thank you for subscribing and liking. It means an awful lot. It's awesome to have you along. Thank you so much. We've been resetting, and we've been to the Groenewald fur truck. I think this thing could be like 2 hours long. So let me stop here, and we'll catch you up with some new things that I'm doing. Remember, trappers snore. Sustainable, natural, organic, and renewable resource. Catch you on the next one.